to live stream the meeting. You're live, brother. What's up, David?
I'm good, man.
We are live, and I'm really excited to be here with you guys. My name's Chad, and this is David Hutchinson, as you know from the channel. So he called me yesterday and was like, I want to do a live stream, maybe with you, maybe without you. I was like, no, I'm coming. And we're going to talk about anything piano. We're taking your questions. We're just going to just hang out for during this lunch hour and just take questions about piano, playing piano and worship, maybe settings, sounds, whatever it may be that you may have questions about. We're going to take it right now. David, I'm just going to let you play a little bit, maybe, until we get some people on here. Let's just hang out.
Yeah, and like Chad said, we want to take your questions. So this is all about your questions today. We just want to, quite frankly, I wanted to hang out with you guys. So go ahead, drop your questions in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them. All right. Chad, help me out with something, man. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, what's up?
How do I? So I.
No, you're not.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to say all this stuff on here, but I came to it and I'm trying to figure out, like, when do I hit save and then it'll let me see it?
When I'm save what? What are you saving? Sorry.
I hit the meeting, but it's not letting me see, like, there's this screen that comes up first before the meeting.
Oh, you trying to record the meeting?
No, I'm not trying to record it. I'm in the YouTube studio.
Oh, you're in the YouTube. Okay, yeah. Just click on just click on the video itself, like the live stream itself, and then it should take you right over to where you can see comments and everything. Like, just click on
yeah, that's what I did, and it took me to something like it's behind it, but it's anyway, I don't want to mess
Oh, yeah. Don't hit save, just hit exit, because I'm doing that right now.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me go back one more time so I can make sure I don't miss any questions.
I'm saying WLH Live Q&A Piano Edition. See, I'm literally having to do this over. See, I already did all this. And I had to redo it.
Oh, that's probably why I can't see it then.
That's probably why, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's public. We're ready.
Well, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat, guys, because we want to see them. That's why we're here today. We want to just help you become better piano players, better worship leaders. All right. I'm going to play a little bit.
So we have 23 people watching right now.
I see more.
Oh, maybe mine's lag.
Yeah. That's funny, man. Let's see if I could do it this way.
So I don't see any chats yet, but yeah, for real, if you have any questions, that's what we're here for today. Well, that's what David's here for, our piano expert. I have a keyboard in front of me. See that? I've been playing keys for a little while now, and David's teaching me everything he knows. Trying to, anyway.
Yeah. All right. Well, while we're waiting for people to come on, let me go ahead and play a tune. You got a tune? You got a favorite, like, song you like? Worship song?
Worship song? Man,
yeah,
I got a lot of favorite worship songs.
That either.
I got a lot of favorite worship songs.
Really? Okay. Give me one that you think I know, though.
Oh, that you know? Okay. Yeah. Well, right now, I'm on this Maverick City kick. So, let me think. Somebody give me some help in the comments.
Hey, there might be some trouble with the chat. I just got a message.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
And they're saying that they're trying to enter stuff in chat and they're not able to.
See, YouTube, we love you, but you're messing us up.
Yeah, YouTube.
Live chat, enable. So chat is enabled. Enable live chat. Here, I'm just going to enable.
All right. While we're doing that, let me play. Let me see. What am I singing Sunday? What are we doing Sunday? Oh.
Yeah, play some.
Okay, so Sunday I thought about introducing like a new version of Amazing Grace. I know I'm a student ministry guy, right? No one's gonna be thinking, why are you singing Amazing Grace in student ministries? But I'm thinking it might be really cool. So okay, so it's gonna go something like this.
All right.
What's up from New Zealand? I got a reason to sing and celebrate. And I've been washed by his blood.
Oh, wash. That's right. I thought it was ball.
Amazing grace. I got a reason to sing and celebrate. I've been washed by his blood and amazing grace.
So y'all are doing that one?
I just thought about like
that's the sing team.
Huh?
Tell people what that is. That's the sing team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
have you heard the kids do that one?
No.
The kids sing on, because that album's called Sing On. And the kids do that, man, it's really good too. They kill it.
They were adults.
I know, but they did a kids sing on.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. No, I know the adult version's amazing, but man, you hear those kids do it, you're like, woo, they're good.
So I thought about introducing it on.
Hey, David's
on
watching
Sunday,
from Kenya.
Just the chorus. Yeah. What's up, David? What's going on, Servant King? So let's just go what we're doing here. Hey, if you have piano questions, that's why we're here today. Just go ahead and ask questions about the piano. That's what we're here for. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on your questions, that's something I'm playing on Sunday. What else am I playing Sunday? I'm playing, oh. Yeah. And I try to do that when I'm singing, but it's so hard. But
yeah,
you know it, right? Bless the Lord,
oh
my soul. Oh, my
didn't
soul.
you do a video about that song a long time ago?
That was one of the first.
Did. That was one of the first ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones that nobody watched.
Right. Well, people have watched it now.
Yeah, they probably didn't even know it exists. Yeah. Okay, so somebody said, what software do you use? AR-1063.
Yeah. Well, AR-1064 is his brother, or 1062 is his sister.
Yeah.
That's 1063. He wants
you want to answer that question, Chad? What software do we use? Because we use a lot.
What software do we use? So we do use a lot of software, but I think they're more referring to the software that you use for your MIDI.
Okay. Well, I use Chords, and yeah, that's what we use. We use Chords, and it's a great software, and Chords should be paying us for telling people that.
I know, for real, and that's why we don't publish that a lot. David, or people ask that question all the time on Davin's videos, and we even have emails about that.
Yes,
and yeah, it's not a. I wouldn't. Well, we joke around. We say it's a trade secret, but it's very well known. It's a very well known platform. I think also people ask the reason why they ask on Worship Leader Hangout is because I change the colors. I change the way it looks in post, and I do like a dark mode and go that route.
Yeah. You won't get it to necessarily look like that, but the software we use is Chords. So
right.
Yeah. All right. What's another question we have from David
David said, how do you improve your finger flexibility? Sometimes when trying to use all 5 fingers to play fuller, it feels a bit awkward for me. Time.
Okay. Well, David, that's certainly dependent on you, but I can tell you the things that I have done to improve my finger flexibility. So, well, one of the things I do is I practice chord exercises. Everything good, Chad? I saw your face like
I
something
read the
happened.
next question and I had an idea for that, but
Oh,
go ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
But so I practice a lot of chord exercises. And so if you look at probably the description of this video when we're done, we'll have a link to a lot of the chord exercises that I use. But I will practice, let's say I'm practicing the 7-3-6 progression, right? So we're talking about finger flexibility. Um, this is 7-3-6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm going to do is to make sure that my fingers are entirely comfortable playing this, I am going to practice it in C, then I'm going to
Yeah.
go to C sharp, and then I'm going to go to D, and then I'm going to go to E flat, and then I'm going to go to F. Oh crap, I skip E, so I better do E. Right? So that is a big thing that I do is I try to practice every chord progression that I know in all of my keys. And I make that a habit and a discipline. And so really,
That
David, it takes a lot of discipline to get to improve your finger flexibility. Now, let me see if I can answer the other half of your question.
okay.
Sometimes when trying to use all five fingers to play fuller, it feels a bit awkward for me. Okay,
I
David,
think can I just quickly say something about
go
that?
ahead. Yeah.
I do use a lot of my fingers when I play when I play. I know this sounds weird, but I think it's the way you structure your chord to play fuller. And sometimes even tighter voicings will give you a fuller sound, but you're the expert, so yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, I think that's great. It's the way you're structuring your chords. David, to be honest, I don't think you should be using most of the time all five of your fingers from one hand while you have another hand over here. Like what I think you can do is you can take three notes and play it in this hand and then take another three notes and play it in this hand. So like let's say I'm going to play a D minor 9, right?
I don't know if they're hearing this way, but your audio may be struggling a little bit. But just keep going. I think you're fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm playing a D minor 9. Well, what I may do is I may play just three notes in my left hand, D, A, and C. And then in my right hand, I'm going to play F, A, and E. Like that, right? So I'm not trying to play an entire five notes in my right hand or five notes in my left. I'm trying to spread that chord out for this D minor 9, and then I may go ahead and play four notes in my right hand. But I don't really play five notes in my right hand ever. I just stick to four, and then I add notes to my left. Hopefully that was helpful. You
Yeah.
want to read
So
that next question,
yeah, that
Chad?
next question is, can you give me some tips on playing in every key, please? The transpose button paralyzed me for years. Um, if I'm answering this question, I know you're probably asking David, but if I'm answering this question, David knows. We're actually. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you're wearing the merch shirt, but we have merch now, and that's not just to plug that, but we're making a shirt called "All Keys Matter," right? And it's going to be like
Yeah,
keyboard.
all
So
keys
it's
matter.
in development. Only you guys get to know that right now. But because we are advocates for never. I don't even know where the transpose button is on the CP. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Because the way that I learned was almost exactly the way David was talking about this a second ago, was to every pattern you learn, every chord, every position and chord change, and you learn that by on every single key. You just take the extra time and learn that. And it's better to play simpler in every key than it is to try to do, all this hard stuff and be limited to only like one or two keys. And it's just time is what's going to help you with this, and also dedicating yourself um to saying, look, I'm going to just pick a key this week, and every single like lick or pattern or whatever, I'm going to just dedicate it to this key for this week. And one thing you told me a long time ago, Dave, and I never really used the transpose button, but you said, for somebody else I was talking to about this, you said, well, actually have them transposed in A flat or A or D flat for a little while. And then that way they get used and just play every song in that key for a little while. They get used to that key. But I learned all my scales and all my basic like triads when I was in college. And so that
Mhm.
helped me have a better foundation to then be able to put um, all the songs that I was learning in whatever key I wanted to. And it just takes time. But answer that though. He wants your answer too.
Yeah, no, I think you answered it just like how I would have answered it, especially with that tip that you said, right? So let's, Sim, uh, one of the first things you got to say to yourself is, I am relearning this new key. And so when we're relearning something, I noticed a lot of guys that they can kind of play in other keys, but the problem is there's a pride factor to it, right? It's like, I don't want to go and play in this key in church because they don't know me for playing that well in that key, right? Or I'm not going to be able to impress anybody in playing in D or in playing in B. But you have to put that aside and you have to say, no, I'm trying to develop myself as a musician and I'm trying to honor God with the talent that He's given me. And I need to put that pride aside, and I need to work on this new key. So that's the first thing you got to do, is put pride aside. And the second thing is,
Mm.
whenever you learn a brand new song, you learn that in the original key. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And
Tell
then
your wife to get off
for
the internet again, by the way. Whatever you did earlier to fix your mic, your
Ben,
sound.
I didn't do anything.
I know you didn't.
I'm
I don't know
so
what's going
upset
on with
with
it.
this right now. My mic is
Oh,
struggling.
there it goes. It's good now.
It's
Talk.
back now.
No, never mind.
Oh, it's not.
I thought
Really?
it
It's
was for a second. I don't know what it is, man. Tell everybody around you to get off the internet.
I don't know what to do. And this internet's supposed to be fast, so it's like, um
Yeah, I don't know. That's ridiculous. Is mine doing that too?
no, yours is good, man.
Jordan, Anthony, all of them are saying, "Oh, thank you." Yeah, I don't know. Well, um, I think I think you answered it. I mean, it's it can be. I'm not saying that he's struggling with this, but it can be a pride thing.
Yeah,
I know
certainly.
for some keyboardists that I've talked to in the past, they were just afraid that they wouldn't play, I guess, quote unquote, to their fullest ability when they were only playing or when they were trying to play in other keys other than C or whatever their key was. Um, but I mean, again, as a worship leader working with a lot of keyboardists, I would rather you play simpler because then transitions are better. If say we're modulating or say we're just changing the key for the next song, transitions are going to be better if you're able to play in other keys and just doing those things that David and I were talking about to stretch yourself. It just that's what stinks. But the biggest thing I would say is just to learn all your scales and to learn all your basic like the triads and those other keys, and then you can start applying what in C. You know this. Now you can apply that to C sharp and then D, and then you're able to just work your way to any key, and then Sally starts singing Amazing Grace and you know E flat. You're like, oh, I got you, let's go. So, and anyway, all right, try to talk again. I want to make sure.
All right, is this any
It
better?
sounds great now. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm gonna call my internet company and I'm gonna fight somebody because I'm not gonna lie. I'm not supposed to be saying this on the channel, but I pay these dudes a lot of money to not have slow internet. This
I
was a
know, for real.
problem like a couple years ago, because remember when we would upload videos, and I would basically
Take
say
forever.
the night before, Chad, I uploaded it and it's 8 p.m. You should get it by tomorrow morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now like we tried to avoid that crap. So, oh my gosh. But yeah, man, Chad's telling you
Yeah. He
everything
said
that
he
you
heard
need
most
to.
of your answer anyway. Thank you.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah.
This is what you got to do, Sim. Stop playing in your favorite key. That's what
I
you
hate
got to
playing
do.
in C, man. I do.
Yeah, stop playing in your favorite key. Just go to keys that you're uncomfortable with, and like set a goal. Like you can't do it all at once. So say, hey, next month I'm playing everything in F. Next month, I'm
Yeah.
playing everything in G. Chad said that all that right. All right. Let me see. Any other questions, you guys?
Yeah. So we have how do you improve? Oh, how do you try to innovate new interludes without doing what you've heard before? Do you
How
do
do you
anything about
try
that?
to innovate new interludes
Yeah, without.
without
Mm-hmm.
doing what you've heard before? Well, I'm going to think that you're saying riffs. You think that's
Yeah. An interlude would be like between a chorus and, or maybe between like a bridge going back to the chorus. Maybe play a little interlude there. A lot of times we'll do the interlude will either be what we just the chord progression we just played or what we're going to, and I think that can get a little boring sometimes, and that may be what he's talking about. And so he's trying to innovate. Um, I know one thing you talk about all the time, David, are some of those just the different passing chords for so the certain chord progressions, like the 7-3-6,
yeah.
5-1-4,
So
or what is it?
yeah. So what you have to do, right? Like let's first off, you got to get the foundations down, and then it's all about refining the foundations. So for example, let's say we're going from D to G, right? You understand, let's say you got to understand the principle, which is a 5-1 progression. So D is our 5, G is our 1. Once you understand that, you try to think of what are all the different ways that I can apply that same progression. So maybe you walk up using all the I would say diatonic intervals between D and G. Diatonic means within the scale. So let's say we go like this. All right. So we're going from D to G, and I'm just using the diatonic intervals from D to G. So D, E minor, a D over F sharp, or we can use an F sharp diminish to a G. That's another thing. You just keep building on that. Maybe you say you go up in thirds. Maybe you say you go up in sixes, right? So all right, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you go up using bigger extensions. So maybe we use dominant sevens this time. Maybe we use dominant sevens, but we take out the 5. I mean, I just keep expanding on the same idea, right? It's about taking an idea and then building upon it, expanding on it. So I hope that answers your question. You think that
Yeah,
was
I think
helpful?
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think it has a lot to do with what you're playing in between, or
Mm-hmm.
just trying a different chord progression for that interlude,
Yeah.
instead of
And you
just
can keep, and I was gonna say you can keep going further with it. Like, I mean, for me, I would even start using like bigger, thicker, stranger extensions, like flat 9, dominant 7 extensions, right? Like stuff like that. But you got to understand the fundamentals, and then you got to build on from the fundamentals. And of course, right here, I'm going to say you got to check out my fundamentals course. So
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Another
yeah.
one you could do if you're going to a 6, you could do a flat 5, flat 6, 7 to the 1.
You're teasing them on what's coming up next.
Sorry, I had to. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're new video coming out. I guess tomorrow morning. So look for that. So 3 diminished. What is it? What was the title? 3 diminished.
3 diminished chords to a minor chord.
Yeah. 3 diminished chords.
And I'm going to give you a formula and everything that you can use.
Dude, it's sick. I'm told David when we started, I was like, that's all I'm working on for like the next 4 days.
Yeah.
Is what he's doing in this upcoming video. So it's gonna be
All
great.
right.
All right, yeah. The
What's
next
another
one.
question?
Hey, do you got any tips for playing as an aux keyboard player, pads, organs, brass, etc.? I think pick your pad, like just pick the
Okay.
right pads. But go ahead,
Dude, I love this question. I'm being for real. I'm not, because guess what? I spent most of my time in college not as a first keys player. Most people don't know that. Did you know that?
I mean, I knew that for your first year of EVS, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, I was first keys to Marcus. I mean, I was second keys to Marcus, so I did a lot of aux. And then I did have like a year or so where I played first keys, but then when LeBron and all these other guys came, I had to fill in on other instruments sometimes. So, and then when I was at New Covenant, I was a second keys player. So
Oh,
I
really?
spent most of my time playing gospel as a second keys player. Yeah. And I loved it. Like it was my home. I love it. All right. So
Yeah.
what are some tips for playing as an aux keys player, pad, organ, brass?
So
okay,
you clearly have experience. Give some of those tips.
Okay. So the aux keys player is really filling in holes that are missing in the music.
Okay.
And so that's what you need to think about, right? And so something that I would think about was, where is an empty hole musically? So let's say the keyboard player is.
You want to do a? I can do a. What key do you want to play? We can do. I can do like a 6-4-1-5 progression, just simple, and then you just add it in there.
Okay, yeah. I'm afraid of the delay,
like
but we'll try it. And
well, yeah, we'll try it. Yeah.
what key are you in?
Man, your favorite key.
Isn't my favorite key?
Yeah, D flat, right? What's your favorite key?
It doesn't matter. I don't care what key we're in. You just threw me off.
Oh yeah. We
okay, do it again, and then I'll give some ideas.
And
I'll talk it.
Okay, we're just doing a 6-4-1-5. I'm gonna try to turn down a little bit.
Okay.
It just sounded loud. So I'm like first keys, but I would definitely be like third keys compared to David. Yeah. Turn yours up.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So let me talk about what I'm doing through, right? He's playing a B minor, a G flat, a D flat, an A flat, back to the B minor.
Yeah.
Well, I am not trying to follow him with all of those chords. It's too much. I'm trying to maintain that pad underneath him. So what am I going to do? I am going to hold this D flat with a B in my left hand. And then when the chord changes to G flat, I'm not going to change anything but my left hand, because it could still fit, all right? And it just keeps it nice and smooth. So when you're the pad, when you're the guy underneath, man, you're just trying to keep things nice and smooth. When he gets on that D flat, I'm not changing anything. Now, when he gets to the A flat, the only thing I may change is I may drop this D flat right here down to A.
Yeah, well, I'm doing that too anyway. You talking about the 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm just keeping things nice and smooth. So that's something that you can do. That's a big thing. And honestly, the aux player has to remember, like, they have to fight wanting to be seen, because quite frankly, first keys player is getting all the attention. But man, a good aux player, it's almost like they're the meat and the butter that it's going on with the music. So I would do the same thing organ wise, right? Like I don't consider myself a good organ player. I'll be frank. And when it came to brass parts, I learned all of the parts on the record. So like, yeah, I would sit there for hours. Like I remember spending 20 hours one week learning all the songs for church, learning all of them. So sometimes, let's say I don't have that kind of time, I would certainly try to memorize as much brass parts as I can. And if I couldn't, I would just fill in with my own lines. So like,
yeah.
And I would try to keep my lines consistent and smooth. So I'm gonna, so let's say like a song like, I don't know, I don't really play brass on this.
I remember all the brass parts we had to add to our MPC.
Oh yeah. That is funny. So like, let's say we're doing like, oh, give thanks.
Yeah, do that.
Unto the
I could
Lord.
hear that. Yeah.
For he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. I wouldn't even try to do it on after every 4 measures. I'd probably do it like after every 8 measures, every 16 measures, just so it doesn't become monotonous, you know? And a lot of times, if I have to make up parts on the spot, I'm just thinking within the pentatonic scale. So like if we're in C, the pentatonic scale would be C, D, E, G, and A. The numbers for that would be 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Transpose that to any key. Let's say we're in B flat, right? We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. If we're in E, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And you can just take all of those notes and come up with different lines on the spot. So like oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. You're right. So just think within the pentatonic scale and you should be fine if you have to make up stuff. All right.
That's great. I think that's pretty good. And then let's see, audio's okay. I think some people are asking about sounds on their Rolands, but I know you're using a Yamaha CP73 now.
Yeah.
So, which
Man,
is
did you buy that Roland? Because I'm curious. Why'd you buy the Roland Dom? I'm sorry, bro, that I'm not pronouncing your name right. I respect names so much because people mess up mine a lot. No problem, DZ. Uh, but what I'm curious. Can you tell me what made you buy the Roland RD 2000? It's a great board. It's
yeah.
phenomenal.
I don't think you're saying that's a bad idea
No,
or
no,
bad
no.
decision. I think you just want to know.
Yeah, I do have. So that your Kenny asked, "What's your favorite patches on your Roland FA?" So
Yeah,
Kenny, that
that's
means
what you used for a while, right? The
yeah.
FA88. Yeah.
So Kenny, you're a true fan, man, because you've been watching us for a while.
A while. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't use the FA anymore. I still have it. I take it on gigs, but I moved over for Worship Leader Hangout to the Yamaha CP73, and that's because I'm a piano player at heart, and I love it. And Chad has a CP73 in the front of him.
I have this is an 88 but it's about to get. I can't
Oh
talk about
yeah,
that right now,
he's
but it's about to get
88.
picked up. This is an 88 in front of me, CP88. But yes,
Yeah, and in the front of me,
there's no different.
I have a Yamaha MX49, and I guess Chad, we could put some descriptions in the links to these boards.
Yeah, we will.
Um,
Yeah, we'll do it.
and at church, I have a Mod X, so I kind of moved over to Yamaha, to be honest.
Oh, so that's right, because you're facing a different direction than you do on the videos. You're facing your live stream direction. So beside him, to your right, is the CP73, and
Yeah,
that's
back
what you're
here.
seeing on and hearing on the channel most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much all the time.
But let me still answer your question. Last week in the sounds we made. So what I like to do is we're answering Kenny's question, right?
Yeah, actually, DE's question. I call him. I'll just call you DE. You know, we're good like that. He's talking about it sounds amazing, very useful, especially. Oh well, he's just excited for his purchase. Oh, you wanted to know why he bought it. Yeah, if you're still watching.
Yeah. I did want to know why he bought it. So yeah, man, if you could tell me, I'd appreciate it. But
yeah, but Kenny's question is, what's your favorite patches on your FA?
Okay, Kenny, what I did was I went to the Roland website, and I didn't like the piano sounds. And so I downloaded, and that's one thing I would say, Roland. I don't want to speak bad about Yamaha because all I use are Yamaha boards primarily, except for my FA, and I love my Yamaha board. But Roland does have this over them, as far as I know, in that they let you download every sound they've ever made for free on their Axial website. And so that's phenomenal. And so they have better piano sounds available there. And so that's where I got my piano sounds from. And they're phenomenal. And then what I would do is I would put that, and I would have a pad underneath it. and I would program the pad to where the pad was only occupying a certain within 2 octaves or 3 octaves of my board. I would put a bell along with that in a higher octave on my board. And what else would I do? Oh, when I wanted to, I would have an EP at a certain octave. So I'm giving you more than you probably asked for, but these are kind of how I organize my patches on my board.
Yeah.
Um, you
I
can't
remember
do
you.
that with the MX at least on by itself, but you could do it with the Mod X. So I do
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope that helps, Kenny.
How can I
Yeah.
program?
How can I program ambient piano sounds? I guess he's talking about on his Roland because that's him on his RD 2000. The RD
Oh,
2000.
the RD 2000. Honestly, bro, I'm not sure that the R. I don't know if the RD works the same way as the FA. Um, they probably are similar. You think?
Me? I have no idea.
You have no idea.
The only Roland is that I've ever used is sitting under the stage right now. It's
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was. Do you remember what that thing was? Because you
You.
played
Oh,
on it
you.
one time.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Seven. It was a seven something.
Oh, the Roland RD 7, the 700
Seven.
SX.
Yeah, 700 SX. That's what
Yeah.
we had here for a long
Dude,
time.
I remember when I saw that board in college and it just came out and
The heaviest board known to man.
oh no, you lifted a Triton 88
Okay.
key?
No, we didn't have one.
Yeah, yeah, you should.
But I know which one you're talking. You're talking about the ones with like the gaping wide space of nothing on both sides of the little bitty control panels. The big old Triton,
Yeah,
and then it's as wide as my car, and then
yes.
as long as yeah. No.
I couldn't properly gig with that board when I lived in California. It was like my first real keyboard, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't properly gig with that because it was so I couldn't fit it in my car. Like, oh man, it was torture. So you know something, man? I want to help you answer your question about the RD. Yeah, if the RD is way different than the FA, I'm sorry, man, I couldn't help you. I'd like to help you, and so what I could do is I don't mind dropping my email. Is that okay, Chad?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can.
Um,
They can reach you through your website too, right?
I'm gonna drop my. That's just my email, and feel free to email me, and I'll see what how I can help.
Yeah, sweet.
Any other questions?
Yeah. We have just some comments. Somebody loves the feel of the FA. Is also nice. Oh yeah. How to play if I'm the worship leader? I think this person's asking. I think it's Joshua is asking how to play if he's a worship leader. I need to sing. I'm just kind of helping him out. I need to sing the song but play the piano. Um, this really does. I know a lot of my answers are just time and practice, but this really is time and practice to be able to play and sing at the same time. I think what you may be trying to do is play like David and sing at the same time. What you may have to do, Joshua, is play simpler and be okay with that if that's possible. Play simpler. Use some of David's tips. Like one thing he showed me a long time ago was um, you can kind of roll on some of those chords also and not just play everything like that so much. And he just put out a video actually on his channel, David, you did today, talking about some of these basic things with how to like add like rhythmic elements to your playing more so than just playing those blocked chords. But I think what the issue may be is just trying to do too much. Maybe go simple, sing, make sure your vocals are really nice, make sure you're engaging with the crowd, your congregation, more than you're paying attention to the piano. But I do understand the reason why back in 2017, the only piano experience I had was I had to do piano proficiency in college, and I got whatever I had to do, I got it done, and I didn't go back to the piano. My main instrument was bass guitar. So in 2017, David came over to South Carolina, and he showed me some stuff, and I don't know, he's gold, so yeah, keep watching him. But um, he showed me some stuff, and I just started. And my first Sunday, I had to lead a song and play at the same time. I'm serious. It was in D, and I just played as simple as I could. I don't even remember what song it was, but anyway, I played really simple. People are like, "Oh wow, you're playing keys now." I'm like, "I'm trying," and I just kept building from there. And since then, I've gotten to where I can play some, really heavy rhythmic things while singing at the same time. And I still stumble sometimes though, but I think the main thing is just focusing more on your vocals and actually leading worship more so than playing incredibly well, because you'll
Yeah.
kind of be known as a better player if you play simple and don't mess up than as if you try to play those hard lines and mess that up while you're singing. I hope that helps. Maybe David has some other tips.
Yeah. No, man, I think that was great. Um,
Your audio is a
I
little whack
really
again,
do.
but I'm
I
just
think.
letting you know. Just letting you
Oh,
know.
okay, man.
You can still understand what you're saying.
Is it? Is it?
Oh, it's better
Oh,
now.
you can. Okay. Well.
Well,
Okay. Good. Well, I would say one thing that you can do is a lot of times when you can learn some fundamental things. And I've been thinking about the fundamentals a lot more, and to be honest, man, we continue to cover those in every episode because they're
mm-hmm.
so essential. And one of the fundamentals about playing the piano is understanding your progressions. Chad was telling you that he only took piano proficiency in college, but Chad is a bass player and he did study music theory. So he has a mental framework of at least what chord should come next.
Yeah.
Even if he can't move his hands there as quickly, well, now he's way better. But like even when he was starting off, he still had a mental framework about, okay, this is the chord structures going on.
Yeah.
And so I would certainly say one thing that would help you would be to learn your progressions, just your standard progressions in all
Yeah.
of your keys, and then learn different inversions. Once you learn some standard progressions, some inversions, and then you realize you don't have to move your hand as much, man, that's going to open up a whole new world of, man, I could play all these songs and I don't have to work as hard. So
Yeah.
a
For
lot of
real.
piano players, they actually work much more harder than they need to, but that's just because they don't understand. If you look at like a, a somebody that's been doing something for a long time, it's like they do it easily, and that's because they understand like the fundamentals. So
Yeah.
try
I think
work on the fundamentals.
I think that's great. Yeah, that's one thing I guess I didn't put into. I guess I didn't think about that as much when I was starting piano in 2017. I was really just coming back to it, as I had a much more broad understanding of music anyway, and so being able to learn this the way I wanted to learn was just so much easier because I had a better understanding in theory and all that. We did have a question. I'm not trying to rush out of that, but yeah, I think it has a lot
Mhm.
to do with practice. But we did have a question about how to train your ear. I
Yeah,
spent a lot of
ear
time in
training.
yeah, I spent a lot of time in ear training in college as well as just on my own. A good way to do that is to just grab some songs, maybe even just start with what sounds like could be some simpler songs, and just listen to them, and then write out, maybe print out the lyrics, and then write out the chord chart of what you think that chord chart may be, or what those chord changes may be. And by what I mean by that is, like, try to identify what the one is. Okay, the song is in, say the song is in B. Try to identify the one when you first hear that song. If you can identify the one, then listen. That's a 3, 4, and then when you hear a chord that sounds like this compared to this being the one, then that can start to help you understand, oh well, that might be a 4, and just really just crash into it all the way and just try to write that out based on what you're hearing, and then go back and say, oh, actually no, that was actually a 5, I was just off by a little bit. um, that's kind of a way to start at it. And I don't, David, you probably have maybe some good ideas with this.
No, man, that's exactly. I think that's a great idea. As a matter of fact, I just dropped in the chat. I think probably 2 years ago, I did a video
We
on ear
did, yeah,
training,
we did do a video
and
on that, yeah, or
it
you
talked
did.
about that same thing. When that's one of
Oh,
the fundamental.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that helped me was learning intervals. That's what I was kind of getting at. So if you learn your intervals and you know that this if this is the one, this note here is it's a two.
Two.
Yeah, or a major two, right? And then that's a major three. So if you learn those intervals and then perfect fourth, and then perfect fifth, and then major six, major seven, and then octave. Now, major six, not to be confused with six being a minor chord in that key. It's the major six because you can also have a minor six interval. That's your minor six interval. So if you learn your intervals, then when you hear chords based off of those scale degrees, like the root of the chord based off that scale degree, you can start to train your ear. And you hear that, you're like, oh, compared to this, you're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that sounds like, oh yeah, that's a six. That might be the six chord. So you can put in there six, or if you're writing that out in numbers, that's an A flat minor. If you're in the, yeah. So anyway, or a G sharp minor.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a way that I learned, because learning those intervals helped me out a lot, especially on bass. But it just kind of all transferred over to the keyboard as
Yeah, I
well.
think
But
I was gonna say, in learning to play by ear, I think one of the biggest things you can do is start singing everything. So
yeah.
you have to remember that music is a language, and just like how we hear a language, we have to then practice articulating that language back. And
Yes.
so, whenever, let's say you're learning a song, right? One of the simplest things you could begin to do is, as a piano player, and not all of us sing, is to sing that song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just sing the song, especially if you're not a worship leader. That will really help to train your ear, to get your ear familiar with uh, not just hearing something, but singing it back. It's like a two-way thing. There's this relationship going on between ear training and singing, and that's why in college, when you take a class, it's ear training and sight singing, right? Like
Mm-hmm. Ear
they go
training and sight singing. That's it.
they go hand in hand.
Sight
So
singing was
yeah.
lovely.
And so something that I did to practice singing better, which also helped my ear, was the intervals that Chad is talking about. So when I would think of a C chord and I would go like this: 1, 3,
Mm-hmm.
5, 7,
You can say,
1. And I would
yep.
practice that a lot. 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. And then I would practice 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5,
It'll make you a
1,
better singer
6,
too.
1, 7, 1, 8. I would practice all of those things. And I noticed, man, my ear, when I tried to learn a
Mm-hmm.
song, it was just like, wow, I can hear it better. So practicing those intervals on the piano and then practice singing those intervals are crucial. Second thing is this: start getting yourself away from music that's so easy. Learn
Mm.
harder music. Force yourself to listen to things that are harder to your ears. Once you do that, I think they're going to be very helpful. Learn harder songs, man. I got great tutorials on uh, my website, and you should go there and check out those tutorials on much harder music. That's
Yeah,
going to
for
develop
real.
your ear. All right.
Yeah, learning harder music will definitely help. One of the songs that I was learning, not that it's super hard, but it was it was really helping me with modulating as well. Was Yahweh by Maverick City Music,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes up. There's four different keys, so it goes up, modulates three times, and man, that was because it goes from the one to the two to the three to the four to the five, and then kind of walks down six, five, and then two, and then one. Anyway, and then you take that up a key, yeah, take that up a half step, and so yeah, that'll stretch you big time, especially having to think in four different keys in a matter of
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, ear training is probably one of the most important things you can do in becoming a better musician overall.
I think
Um,
I need to work on an ear training course. I mean, a really good one. But yet anyway.
What keyboard do you use, David? David uses the CP80 or 73, and then what is that one again in front of you?
CP73, the Yamaha Mod X, and then here I have the Yamaha MX49, and I'm gonna actually, man, I'm coming out with a video soon on talking about best keyboards under $500, best keyboards under $200. I didn't even tell you about this, but because I've been cheap all my life, and that has cost me, to be frank. You can't be cheap all the time, but sometimes you frankly don't have the money, and so I'm going to talk about that. But I want to get to some of these questions, and guys, we only have a couple more minutes up here.
We skipped past somebody. I want to go back up to. You see Anthony Blackburn's question? We skipped past it.
Oh, Anthony Blackburn.
Oh, any tips on ear training? No, that's what we just answered. Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't skip it. That's a huge one. All right.
I want to run through some of these questions a little quicker.
How do you embellish?
Guys,
go ahead.
Go ahead and post your questions. But Chad, can you read them? I'm sorry.
Yeah. How do you embellish knowing chords already, but that's basically the extent of it? That's a good question.
That's a very good question. So we've been talking about this a lot, but came up with a Grace Notes video, right? So it's about learning the fundamentals. And in classical music, we actually there are a lot of techniques around embellishment, and actually Baroque music is a very embellished style of what we would say like classical music. Right now, I'm no classical expert. I just want to say that, but there are, like, for example, let's say you'll learn something like Grace Notes, right? Let's say you're playing Amazing Grace. Let's see, Amazing Grace in F. What if you started adding grace notes to some of those things? So all you need to do is play the chords and the grace notes. So just grace notes right now. That begins to take your playing to another level, and you can begin to start adding more grace notes. You could also think like think melodically in terms of thirds. So maybe I would say, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I added some grace notes that saved a wretch like me. What I did was I ended on C, and then I thought, okay, what's a third away from C is E. Let me play a grace note coming from the F to the E. And then I walk back down to the C. You see? So think within thirds, think within sixes. These are all the fundamentals. I'll say it one more time. You got to check out my... Anyway, I won't keep
Grace note. A grace note is just going a half step. That's what he's talking about. Just going a half step down from like your note that you're about to play in the melody.
Exactly. So grace notes. So that's just one of the tips that I've worked through, and then you can begin to add that even to your left hand and stuff like that. All right. What's the next question?
Hey, this is from I don't know. Sorry. Anyway. We're terrible with names, but we don't want to mispronounce anything.
Yeah.
Hey, any tips on how to make rhythm on the left hand sound more full? You did one for me for the channel a long time ago, back in 2017.
Yeah. I'll try to drop that in the chat.
Yeah, drop it in there. But it's basically go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Oh. So like, okay, right? Let's say like we're playing C, okay? And what's the song? Let's do the song we did that time.
God of
Miracles.
Was it God of Miracles? Yeah. Oh man, I had the flu. David had a stomach virus.
Oh, it was a bad week. Yeah,
man.
But that's what kind of set some stuff off. Anyway, so like God of Miracles.
Miracles come. We need your supernatural love. Yeah.
Okay, so first thing you can do, right, is if you're playing octaves, we can move away from playing octaves to playing fifths. So what I mean by that is, let's say we're playing a C chord. We can go, instead of playing C and C, we can play C and G. G is 5 notes away from C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can apply that to all of our chords. So now we have, in my left hand, I'm going to play God of miracles, Lord, we need your. Now we can continue to add to that, right? So we can play the octaves with the fifth in an arpeggio.
Your camera back on.
God, huh?
Turn your camera back on.
It's off?
No, it's just like, just press it. I think it just timed out a little bit. Sorry, you could have kept going. We can see your hands.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
Yeah, just keep going.
So now, if you now you can play like 1, 5, and 1. So like God of miracles, we need your. So you got 1, 5, and 1. So you can go from 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 2. So you can do God of miracles, Lord, we need your. That's actually 1, 5, 1, 2. Yeah. You're super. And you can just continue to expand. So what I end up doing is, you notice I'm not even doing that much work in my left hand, which is what I say in that same video, right? Like, you can do the whole hand, you can do the whole song with your left hand to where it's like, or 1, 5, 1, 3, 2. And what I'm doing is, if A is my 1, I am saying the 5th note away from A, the 8 or 1, which would be A, just an octave higher, and then the 3rd note away from A, which is C, the 2nd note away from A, which is B. So we have 1, 5, 1, 3, 2. So God of miracles, Lord, we need you. Now, you don't have to get there, but that's just a approach of where you can continue to expand it. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. That answers a couple questions that we had. Somebody was talking about they play octaves in their left hand. David was. He plays octaves in the left hand. He's trying to get away from that. So that helps you out too, David. And then somebody was wanting to see how they approach passing chords. David showed me one. What was it? You showed me one. Is it like a flat 6 diminished or something? You just showed me something a little while back. That was how I started into like kind of understanding and learning some of these gospel passing chords. It was from, we were going from 4 or 5, and then I think it was just like a flat 6 to 6 or something like that.
Yeah. So the question is, hello, I play contemporary. I want to approach passing chords. How can I do that? All right. So like, I'm assuming
I can just show you an example, but go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
So let's say, utilizing this progression of you're going from C, G to A minor to F, right? First thing I like to do is get passing chords going to the minor chord. That's where things start to just get interesting. And so what I may do is, without explaining any of the rules, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a diminished chord going to this minor chord. And so to find that, I would go, like, I'm going to A. I would go to the major chord that comes right a whole step before it, which is G. And then I would go a half step up from the G note to G sharp. And now that gives me a passing chord going to A minor. And so now when I'm playing my song, all right, and that's just the beginning of how you can begin to utilize passing chords in your music. So you can do passing chords going to a minor chord, a passing chord going to a major chord. So like, let's say I'm going to G, and I would think one that just the principle, it would be a 5-1 progression. And so I would count 5 notes away from my target chord, which is G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I found a D. So I can play a D major going to G. Okay. So now in practice, that would look like this. Right. So I hope you can begin to see how you can start to use passing chords in your music. We really have created a ton of videos
Yeah.
on passing chords. And I would say that if you've seen these videos and you're struggling with it, you really should go through a systematic process for learning just quite frankly music and music theory. And I do have that in a course. So all right. Sometimes go ahead, Chad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
this will be our last one. And it says sometimes I struggle with getting the key of sorry. Sometimes I struggle with getting the key of songs that are modal since I use numbers a lot. What's a way to quickly go about getting the one? I mean, is she talking he or she talking about keys that are maybe just minor keys?
I th- I think let me read it again. See if
And
sometimes I struggle with getting the key of songs that are modal
yeah,
since I use numbers a lot.
mhm. I think
What's
that
a way to quickly go about getting the key?
yeah,
Maybe because they may
like
think
jazz is a
more.
lot like that, and
I'm I'm sorry.
jazz is a lot like that, and you can't really. It's really hard to just establish like, okay, this is the one. You kind
Mm-hmm.
of have to go chord by chord almost,
Yeah.
but
So
because you'd be saying flat one or if you know you'd be saying a lot of different things in jazz.
yes,
Uh,
sometimes I struggle with the same thing. Hold on, I'm gonna answer that question.
yeah, see if your camera will pop back in. By the way, your front question, and then we'll end it after this question.
Okay, let me
I really want to see your face move. I think that would be a wonderful thing.
You're funny,
It's
man.
just stuck.
Let's see. Let me stop it. And
It's all right. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We're gonna answer this question. R&B is what? Yeah, yeah. I figured you were talking about like jazz or R&B.
okay, yeah,
Um,
that is certainly a very good question.
a lot of them are
Um,
just in minor keys too.
yeah. So something that I do is I will then examine all of the so a song that's a very good example would be like John Legend's uh, so this the reason why this song is it took me forever when I first started playing the piano to figure out what key this was in was because it started on a B flat. All right. And so the song is actually in where F is the one and E flat is actually I was thinking, okay, it has a B flat, it has an E flat, it has an F, and so it's probably in B flat major because it starts on B flat. But you
Mm,
can tell when you land on F that F
right.
is home.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself, DZ, where does it feel like the song has landed? Like where does it is true, it is some to a degree of feeling, I don't know how else to describe it, but it doesn't feel at home on B flat. It feels at home on F. And so that's when I realized, okay, the E flat is really just a flat 7 that he was putting into it.
Yeah.
And so that's a good question. So how do you figure it out? You examine the chords of a song and then you ask yourself, okay, which one of these chords that I'm playing feels like home?
Yeah.
So
That's a great way to put it. I still can't see your face, but Your playing speaks for itself. So anyway, well, we have to wrap this up. Oh, wow. Thank you. We have to wrap this up, and because it's been an hour and I am at work and I need to go work. I, we wanted to spend an hour with you guys answering some questions. We know a lot of our viewers are keyboardists, musicians in general for the church, and that's what it's all about. So, David, you want to try to get your camera working real quick?
Yeah,
One
I'm
more time.
working on it.
Okay, just re-adding it on OBS.
Yeah, I think it's my OBS, bro.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Go to just
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna
do a different scene and just use just that camera, just the ADD.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna close out OBS
You're
and
welcome, Justin. You're welcome, everybody who said thank you. Absolutely, Christian, Joshua. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Help you guys out. Um, thank you so much for the tips. Absolutely. I'm answering for you.
oh, thank you.
All right, here you come. You're coming back.
Yeah, I hope so.
I see the advertising for OBS.
And let's see. Am I on? Am I on? Am I on? Am I on? Come on. Wait.
Yeah. But I do want to mention we do have some merch. We're just we're doing like a month soft launch just to see if there's any interest in it, and then we'll kick it off big time. Maybe do some giveaways and stuff. David has a lot of resources on his website. I'll make sure we link that below. And he does courses and he does lives on the weekends. Sometimes he'll do lesson giveaways, which are really cool. If you're interested in any of the other stuff we do on the channel, we do stage designs and other like worship leader related content. So yeah, if you're not subscribed already, which I'm sure most of you are, subscribe. Consider joining us and hanging out. So yeah, we'd love to have you every week. We do have a video coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna just say tomorrow. Davin's video is coming out tomorrow on 3 diminished chords, and it's cool. It's a really cool formula that I feel like you guys will love. But who in the world? Somebody's talking in the background. But we're gonna go ahead and end. David, can you hear me? But I'm gonna go ahead and end this out. We really appreciate you guys being here. I think we lost David, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day, and remember, great worship leaders are always learning. Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, for real.